After all, he said, the country's so divided. Hillary's in such a close race with someone who stands in total opposition for all that you've ever stood for. Maybe your vision was misguided, he suggested, or at least very naive. And it was a fair question. I had to acknowledge that I hadn't fully counted on the obstruction we'd see when I first came into office and had to save the economy. I didn't anticipate the way social media would magnify our divisions and muddy up facts. None of us knew then how deep the Great Recession would cut and how many people would suffer and how it would make so many people anxious about their futures and their kids' futures, even after the economy recovered. But despite all that, I told him, the answer is yes. I still believe in hope. I'm still as optimistic as ever about our future, and that's because of you, the American people. In my visits to schools and factories, war theaters, national parks, in the letters you've written me, in the tears you've shed over a lost loved one, I have seen again and again your goodness and your strength and your heart. In 2008, you gave me a chance, a skinny guy with a funny name. And for these past 8 years, I saw how hard you worked in the face of impossible odds. I saw the values you teach your children. I saw the way you treat strangers in need. I've seen the young men and women in uniform who meet every mission, and the military families who serve and sacrifice just as well, and the wounded warriors who never ever quit. You bet on me all those years ago, and I will always be grateful for the privilege you gave me to serve. But I'll be honest with you, I've always had the better odds because I've always bet on you. And America, I'm betting on you one more time. I'm betting that tomorrow, most mom and dads across America won't cast their vote for someone who denigrates their daughters from the highest office in the land. I'm betting that most Americans won't vote for someone who considers minorities and immigrants and people with disabilities as inferior, who considers people who practice different faiths as objects of suspicion. I'm betting that, and I will always be grateful for the privilege you gave me to serve. But I'll be honest with you, I've always had the better odds because I've always bet on you. And America, I'm betting on you one more time. I'm betting that tomorrow, most mom and dads across America won't cast their vote for someone who denigrates their daughters from the highest office in the land. I'm betting that most Americans won't vote for someone who considers minorities and immigrants and people with disabilities as inferior, who considers people who practice different faiths as objects of suspicion. I'm betting that tomorrow, true conservatives won't cast their vote for someone with no regard for the Constitution. I'm betting that young people turn out to vote because your future is at stake. I'm betting that men across this country will have no problem voting for the more qualified candidate who happens to be a woman. I'm betting that African Americans will vote in big numbers because this journey we've been on was never about the color of a president, but the content of his or her character. I'm betting that America will reject a politics of resentment and a politics of blame and choose a politics that says we are stronger together. I am betting that tomorrow you will reject fear and you'll choose hope. I'm betting that the wisdom and decency and generosity of the American people will once again win the day. And that is a bet that I have never, ever lost. Philadelphia, in this place where our founders forged the documents of freedom, in this place where they gave us the tools to perfect our union. If you share my faith, then I ask you to vote. If you want a president who shares our faith in America, who's lived that faith in America, who will finally shatter a glass ceiling and be a president for each and every one of us, then I'm asking you to work as hard as you can this one last day to elect, my fellow Americans, this fighter, this stateswoman, this mother, this grandmother, this patriot, our next president of the United States of America, Hillary Clinton.
Now, that speech by Barack Obama, the 44th President of the United States of America, at 7 November 2016. At Independence Hall in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is the biggest city in Pennsylvania in the USA. In Hillary's campaign, Barack Obama told the American people that he is still believe in hope. Despite his cynicism and obstruction he faced in his presidency. Barack Obama told the American people his unbelief about changing in the US. Many people would suffer, and how it makes so many people anxious about their future, their kids' future, and even after the economic recover. But despite all that, Barack Obama just said, I still believe in hope. He is still as optimistic as ever about their future. And this isn't just its American people. And at 2008, his expectation is realized. It's all from their goodness, their strength, and their heart. And that's what he stayed out last year, and he always bet on American people, and that in this campaign, he's betting American people one more time again. He is bet that tomorrow USA will be more advances, will have no problem, and he is betting that the wisdom, decency, and generosity of American people will once again win the day. So it can make perfect union to USA. So Barack Obama asked to American people to vote Hillary Clinton if they want president who share our faith. If the one last they won't elect his fellow. So the point is Barack Obama asked to American people for choose Hillary Clinton to be a next president of America next year. Okay, I think enough for my video. I'm so sorry because many mistake and any problem in my video. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye bye.